Hey, what's up? In this video, we'll be having a look at a Fisher & Paykel condenser dryer that is not turning. So when you turn it on, the drum just stays still and there's nothing turning in there, and perhaps you'll get an airflow as well. I've covered the airflow problem in another video, but this video is to do with the capacitor that controls the drum that turns on your dryer. So if yours looks different to this one, the principle is the same. So all dryers have a capacitor that runs the motor for your dryer. So over time, even if you have a vented one that looks different from this, if at any point you start the dryer, maybe it turns without clothes in it, and as soon as you put clothes in it, it stops turning. So when I say turning, I mean this bit. So if this bit is not turning like that, because that's supposed to turn during the dry cycle. So if that's not happening, then it might be a problem with one of these, which is your capacitor that controls the motor. So we're gonna have a look at how to replace that and get you drying again. So let's jump right into it. You need a couple of tools. You probably need a Phillips head screwdriver, flat screwdriver, and a 13 socket or a shifting spanner. A 13 socket on a ratchet or a 13 spanner will do the trick. We're gonna need to put our dryer on the side. So to access, first thing that we'll do is we're gonna take the top off, but let's just turn it to the side so that you guys can see what I'm doing. So usually on most dryers, left-hand side is where you have this panel that you have to remove. This is where the motor usually is. And you need to take off the top cover as well in order to take off that side panel. We're gonna go right ahead and take off those panels and change our drying motor capacitor. Looking at our dryer, there's two points that we need to take off screws to take off the top cover. So under the left top corner, just unscrew that, comes out. There'll be two long screws which you need to take off. Just remember where you put everything so you don't lose it. That's it. And remove that, put it to the side. The left panel is where we'll access our capacitor from. So we'll need to take all the screws on that side off. There'll be about 5 running along this side, and at the top there'll be about 5 as well running there that you need to take off. Sometimes on the bottom, there's one screw that you need to take off. So you're just gonna have a look to make sure. Yeah, there's 2 screws on this one on the bottom. So just go ahead and take those off. That's it. And they're out. Let's put it to the side so you guys can see what's going on. As you have it on its side like that, to take off this panel, it's simple. So you lift it up and then you pull it out. There's these grommets here that are holding it, so that's why you need to pull it out. Now I'll say at this stage, I hope you've unplugged your dryer from the power, because we don't want you to get shocked. So whenever you're working on these things, you want to make sure that you've completely unplugged the dryer from the mains power. Otherwise, you'll get yourself a nice electric shock. That thing carries a lot of voltage, so you want to make sure that you've disconnected that. Let's move in a bit closer and see what the capacitor looks like. But looking from here, you can see this is your drum, this is your belt that drives it, that's your motor here, and you've got some wheels here which drive it, and then you've got your capacitor here. So we're going to change the capacitor and we'll see how we go. To remove this capacitor, simply take your screwdriver or your shifting spanner, get the right size, and there's just a nut holding it onto this assembly. You just take it out, just like that. Alright, and one, got two cables attached to it that you need to take off, and you sort it out. So when you take it off, there'll be values as to what you'll need when you replace this, and this is an 8 UF, the tolerance of plus or minus 5%, so, and 450 volts AC, so you have to make sure you replace it with the same, like for like. Hey, I've already got one here, like for like. I've got this one, yes, beautiful. You need to match these, otherwise you're gonna ruin your dryer and potentially cause a fire risk. So make sure you get the right replacement. When you're ready, just screw it back in and Bob's your uncle. Then make sure you attach it to the right terminals. Beautiful. That's about it. Make sure it's nice and secure, that it's not going to be jumping around once it starts working. That's nice and secure. So once you've got that connected, this should sort out the problem and it should start spinning. While you've got the dryer open like this, you really want to also have a look at the wheels that turn on here. So there's one wheel here. I'll just turn it around a bit. So there's a wheel here, this blue and black one. So those also start fading or failing. So you want to make sure that you check those to make sure that they're working properly and replace them while you've got it up open like this. And that way you avoid opening up the thing multiple times to fix the same problem. Because if these are dragging, these wheels are dragging, and the other one on the other side is dragging, it'll put a lot of tension, it'll strain the capacitor and the motor, and then they burn out. So if you don't check them, you run the risk of having the same problem occur again. Hey, I do post a lot of videos on how to fix these things, and if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing, as that will go a long way to help out this channel. And whenever you have a problem with your dryer or your washing machine, you'll always have me in your subscription box. So that's something to think about. And if you found any value in this video, go ahead and click that like button. It goes a long way to help out this channel so that other people discover this content and are able to fix their washers and dryers, saving themselves time and money and a lot of headaches. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section and I will get back to you. Now, in terms of closing this thing up, just do the opposite of what we did. And if you ever get stuck when you're putting it back together, you can always rewind and see how it goes back together. But this is simple enough. Putting it back together is really, really simple. I think the only thing I might need to touch on is when you put it back, this side panel, you want to make sure it lines up at the front where there's tabs here, and then you push it down. So you'd put it in, make sure it's all lined up. That's it, like that. Beautiful. Just like that. Simple. And then you'll be done, and then it's working, and then you can dry again. Cool. Thanks for checking us out. I'll see you on the next one.